Emmaus Rd Youth live. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Emmaus Rd Youth.
Live? I didn't hear that.
No, it's so loud. It's so loud you can hear it. Did you guys hear it at home? Probably not. Hi everybody, welcome to Emmaus Rd Youth live. My name is Joel.
And I'm
This is Ho, and we are going to be hosting this morning. We're going to have fun. We're going to have games. We've got an update on our daughter's Olympic Mario Kart challenge coming up. It was intense, just like Survivor. Intense. No. I think intense, like with your hands.
Yeah. Maybe that's like a thing.
Yeah. Ten Olympics. Who could jump home most tense?
The songs.
No, we're not going to say it. Guys, it's going to be a great morning. And we have a chat function going right now. There are loads of guys saying hi. We want to make sure, people are like commenting, saying hi. Yes, hello everybody. How are you doing? I asked them to shout out. No one said they did. So I'm not going to shout anybody out.
Look, to be fair, I shout out everyone in the chat if you get above 18.
But 18.
Yeah, I know this is
We've got to be 18. I will shout a couple of people out. My collective. Currently at House 3. You guys are awesome. They're watching the live together and then listening live this week. So hopefully you guys are having a great time. Hopefully it's not quite as chaotic as it was last month when we came and hung out, guys, just the last half an hour. Wow, it was great fun though. I hope you guys are having a great time.
I still mind like
Awesome. Apparently, I just got a text message.
Yeah.
And it's happening in comments. Apparently there's an echo on the stream.
Echo.
I don't know why. It's echoing. So what's going on? I don't know. Any idea?
I'm just going to go and consult Dan the Tech Man.
Dan the Tech Man.
Just see
Great. Awesome. Apparently there's a big echo. We're going to sort that out for you guys. But thanks for letting us know in the chat. We love it when you guys point out all these things. It makes us such joy when you do that. But make sure this morning that you guys comment on the whole way through. Apart from obviously going to be coming to end, we don't want you to spam the chat, and we don't want you to just comment loads. And we're going to focus on what we're trying to listen to this morning, what we're going to be doing. Yeah, make sure, but we really want to hear from you guys. And the first thing we want to ask people this morning is a really specific question. Did you fix it?
No, Dan fixed it.
Dan fixed it?
He just like...
What was the problem?
Slapped hands on it, prayed.
What was the problem? Don't know, but apparently it's been fixed now.
Dan fixed it.
So, love that. Awesome, but the thing we want to hear from you guys this morning is... We've thought a lot about this question.
I've got so many ideas.
We've thought a lot about this question, and I feel like it's one of those things, you know, when like you have like a best friend, and you're not truly best friends until
Hang on, where are you going with this?
No, but you know when you have like a best friend, but you know you're not truly best friends because there's certain things that you've shared with one another, like
where you're going.
Who your first crush was.
Don't go there.
Who your first crush was.
I think
I told like one or two other people like who had a crush on when I was like 12 or 13, or what your dream retirement place would be. You're not like truly best friends until you've really told them a few certain things. And this question is one of those things that I feel like you're never truly best friends. I feel like, because I don't know your answer, we're not truly best friends yet. But after this morning, when we share all our answers, we're all just gonna be best mates because we're gonna know everything about one another. So we want to hear.
Dinner, not happening.
What is your favourite smell? What is your favourite smell? I know what my favourite smell is.
I feel like this isn't something that defines a best friend.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Definitely is. I tell all my best friends what my favourite smell is.
Definitely not best friends, I have no clue.
I can't smell it at the moment.
It's not me then.
Can't smell it at the moment. Do you have a favourite smell? Come on.
I don't want to share it with you.
I have a favourite smell. I'm going to share it because I really want us all to be best mates. So my smell is a bit strange, but it is great. Has anyone ever cooked for themselves tacos? Right? Tacos are great. And the best part about cooking tacos or spaghetti bolognese, it's one of those another things. Spaghetti bolognese is another one of those things. You know, like the mince You know mincemeat, right? You put it in a frying pan and you cook it. The smell that it gives off as it's cooking is by far the best smell ever. It is the best smell in the world.
Can I just say we've got an audience and no one's agreeing with Joel?
Everyone in here is nodding right now. Everyone's like, yeah, 100% agree.
It's 100% not.
It is 100% the best smell. So that is by far the best smell. What's your favourite smell? We want to hear what you
Yeah. I mean, we want to hear what you're saying. Because Joel can't talk and he's chosen mincemeat. So
cooking mincemeat, really specific.
Not
Cooking.
raw mince.
Not raw mince, not cooked mince. Mince is in the process of being
Joel
cooked.
doesn't even like mince.
I love
He
mince.
just cooks
Oh.
it. It's a
Right, come on.
room. I don't know. I think I've got two. One's like Marmite, which is not Marmite. No. Like you either love it or hate it, which is petrol.
Petrol.
You know when you're filling up, well, you probably don't fill up your car. Actually, maybe some of you do. Or your mum and dad's car. You just have petrol. Boring. But yeah, petrol.
Petrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, petrol's pretty good, but it's not as good as cooking mincemeat.
Yeah. Or the sea. I absolutely love the smell of the beach.
Yeah.
Other than Margate. Margate is a thing. It stinks.
The sea's pretty good,
The
but
sea
it's
is
still not as good.
salty.
It's not as good as cooking mince. Is
Beachy,
it?
yeah.
Should we hear what a couple of
Let's
people said?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Someone said the first comment we got. This is like not even a joke. The first comment we got was horse manure.
That's not even like debatable. That's gross.
Fresh washing.
Yeah.
I think that really depends on the washing tablet you use beforehand.
Roast chicken.
Roast chicken. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Come on. Yeah.
Cookies.
Meh.
Someone, no, it's the same person said horse manure again. A lot of people said I don't know. Like, make something up, guys. Come on. Chocolate. The same person said horse manure again. Warm cookies. Warm cookies. Takeaway.
Cleaning supply.
Takeaway. Jaden said takeaways, but what like specific takeaway? Like there is a best takeaway. Maybe that'll be the question next week. What's your favourite?
Just want to say David Yeggman is going off on this chat.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's big.
Someone said coriander is the best smell ever.
Oh yeah, no fair.
What?
Fair.
Coriander.
Coriander's banging.
Of all the smells in the world, coriander.
Coriander. Is.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, fair enough.
Do you like the smell of mint? I find it a bit weird.
No, I don't like the smell of mint. I feel like mint is one of those things which you just sort of. The only place that mint should be allowed is in toothpaste.
Chocolate?
No. Mint chocolate is not good. It's not good. Lots of people.
KFC, yes, Jaden.
Horse
I'll
manure
take
is
that.
the best. Horse manure is awesome.
Chinese takeaway, come on.
Horse manure, Chinese takeaway.
Yeah.
Someone cleaning supplies.
That's a bit like washing
Even
though,
some
isn't it?
words like cleaning supplies doesn't have those labels like keep out of reach of children. Like, don't smell cleaning supplies. That's not good.
Unless you're cleaning. You should clean for your parents.
Yeah, you should, but
If you
under
want.
the supervision of a sensible. McDonald's or KFC is apparently was up
Choose
there.
one, pick your side. It's like saying you like Nike and Adidas.
Do you know what actually a really good smell is? There's a really good smell and I drive past it quite regularly. If I'm driving to Guildford,
Is it my house?
no, it's not your house. I'm driving to Guildford and I go into the one-way system. You know where the new McDonald's is? You go around it and you go down to the left as if you're going to Founders, and then you go underneath the bridge area and like you can smell Five Guys. Oh, that, and you get stuck in traffic or behind the lights there. You're like, this is the best day ever. Yeah, that's a really good smell. Chinese food, salt. Apparently in the chat there's a coriander gang that's just started. Someone's mum's brownies smell amazing. I really want a brownie now. Fresh brownies. A lot of people getting on the brownies. Awesome. Well, I still feel like no one really topped cooking mince.
Yeah.
No one really topped that.
I feel like we're gonna disagree.
No.
I feel like he got topped as soon as like
Not really.
went
No.
in petrol.
Cooking mince is by far the best.
All right, we'll move on. It's gonna get better from here. I promise. Hopefully. Okay. What have we got next, Joel?
What do you want to do next? Should we do the game or should we do Doorstep Olympics next? I feel like for the game we need to go and get some paper and some pens. So why don't we watch Doorstep Olympics video first?
We should do that. So, you know what has been going on. We have been bringing Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch to your doorsteps. And just seeing who's going to win.
Whose time was slow, it needs to go in the bin. Whose time was so fast that it's going to make it to our leaderboard. So, I feel like I got a lot of hate last week.
Yeah, so guys, you need to understand Joel isn't a faker.
genuinely,
fake it.
like genuinely, what happened was the first week we decided to do it, I set a time on Mario Kart, right? And then I had like another couple of practice goes, and I just set an unbelievable time. Now, you guys think, oh well, he's had like 5 or 6 goes. We're gonna give you a practice go too, and then we take your fastest time.
And
it's not like
it's not gonna be easy. It's free Nando's. Like
you've got to work for this.
This is like
you have to work for free Nando's.
Come on.
Like you've really got to practice. So if you've got a Switch at home, great, you can get your practice on. If you don't, we will give you a practice go on a day to work it out, to learn the course. But not that many.
Have you seen Cool Runnings? Where
I
they're
have seen Cool
like
Runnings.
picturing. It's basically it's like a bobsleigh team in
Bobsled
Jamaica,
team.
and they're like sitting in the bath, like picturing the course. And,
Like they're in the.
it.
Maybe
Do
what
that.
you should do
Put it on YouTube.
is get your Switch, go and sit in the
Or just
driver's
a
seat of your
wooden
mum's car,
spoon.
and just practice in the car. Put the racing helmet on, because if you want to smash it, you need to practice. So I'm not a cheater. I genuinely set 1:59 on Mario Kart.
3
Okay,
seconds.
we're giving you guys a chance to have a practice go to. You can pick your own character. You can pick your own car.
You'll get
You can
really
pick your
hard.
own tyres. Literally, that's what I did. I picked normal to make it as fair as possible, and I still did cool.
Well, your time was actually 3 seconds slower than the world record, which is still really fast.
It was only 3 seconds slower than the world record.
So you've got to get your game on.
Yeah,
You've got
come
to
on,
really
guys.
race it.
Anyway, let's watch Doors of the Olympics, shall we?
Yeah.
Why don't we
Turn
roll?
your eyes
Why don't we roll the
to the
music?
screens.
Guys, I have to say, I don't think I'm going to win this Nando's. How many laps is it? I think you've already won, and I'm only on my 3rd lap. This is practice lap. Practice lap. Maybe I'll do worse next time. Doing too challenging. Emmaus Rd got 159 and I got 256. So.
How fun! Sam's at the top.
Sam's at the top of the leaderboard.
Well done, Sam. We got Sam here today.
What a valiant effort though by Hope and Theo. These guys. See what these guys did.
It was the noises.
It was Hope's noises were the best thing about it. Also, what happened? Just to like prove what I was saying earlier. These guys had a practice run, then did their actual run, then did their actual run, but their practice run was faster, so we took their practice runs.
There we are.
Because we're nice like that,
We're nice
and we don't
like that.
cheat.
I mean, I didn't want to. I wanted to stick by the rules. But...
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, we did.
Natty's now complaining.
Maybe we did.
We'll
Oh man.
ignore her. Shh.
But well done, guys.
We appreciate it.
We've actually already pre-recorded next week's challenge as
I'm
well.
so excited.
And so next week's one is going to be really good
It's going to be
as well.
I'll get some more names up.
But like, so whereabouts did they fit?
Oh yeah, I spoiled it. Okay, well you know Sam's at the top. He hasn't
Well,
beaten
no. I'm at the top.
Okay, what? Let's just turn our eyes to the screen so we can see the leaderboard. How fun! I love it. I actually like this is my favourite segment.
It is.
It is so good.
I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a big fan. I wonder who will ever beat you. If someone beat you.
I reckon there's some people out there that could.
Yeah.
I've been all talk, but I reckon there's a few people out there.
Put your name in the chat, or like even like message us in your collective group chats on WhatsApp if you want us to come to your house. Look, it's like one thing putting all the chat in like the messenger, like saying I can beat.
Because we said this last week. We said this last week. We were like, if you want to play, put it in the chat. How many people put it in the chat?
I'm not going to believe you for a second that you can beat Joel unless you live up to your words.
But we're coming to you. We want to come to you guys. So let us know. Let us know.
I feel like we should continue the fun for a bit and do a game.
All right, let's do a game. I'm ready.
So this game, no.
I'm going to put my phone away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be reading the chat for a second.
I've got to, just wait a second. Right. So we're basically going to do a game where I'm going to tell you something to draw. So it's like a scene, but different items.
So they can play too?
They can play too.
So you guys play too? Okay.
Go and get some paper and something like hard to put the paper on.
A notebook
and then,
would be perfect.
Yeah, notebook would be great. And then a pencil or pen. Because what we're going to do is we're going to say an item or an object, and you've got to put this on your head, and you've got to try and draw it whilst the paper's on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't see what's going on.
No, you can't see, and you can't see either. And then what we want you to do, there's going to be a number that's going to come up on the screen. We want you to text us a picture of the final product, and the best one, we're going to send a chocolate bar out to you.
We are.
Come on.
But I'm going to play here as well.
Yeah.
Aren't we? So you're going to describe a scene to me. I'm going to put this on my head. Now, you guys that are part of my Year 6 and 7 collective, we played this game last week, and it was so much fun.
I heard big things.
Yeah. Someone got 27 points.
Woo! I don't know how you...
So it's on my head, and I have to attempt to draw the scene that you describe, but you guys have to do the same. So get some paper. Yeah, Pope said it. Get this. Get something like this. Like this.
And like the scene, it's a picture, so we'll start from right to left.
Right
so
to left.
Right over to left. That makes sense.
Alright.
Makes sense. So, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. I'll get the chat up just to check. We'll see if everyone's ready.
Okay. I remember last time I did this, I had real trouble remembering which was the bottom of the scene and what was the top of the scene.
You've got to do that on your own,
Yeah, I know.
So, I want you to draw a sun. Nice and simple.
Okay.
Oh, that's slightly worrying.
Why?
No, nothing. Maybe it's amazing. Who knows?
It's going to be amazing.
It would be cool if we found out the next.
Do you want to see my son? I can't see it, but there's my son.
Imagine if you walk around in life like that all the time. Okay, so we finished our sun. The next thing I want you to draw is the sea. I feel like you probably know what this is. I just love this. It's just my favourite place on earth, whatever it may look like.
Yep.
Okay, now I want you to draw a surfboard.
With a person on it or just a board?
Yeah, put a person on it. Why not? I just put my lost out to sea.
Okay.
Yeah?
Done
Happy?
it. Yeah, I've done it.
You
I've
feel
done it.
confident?
Yeah, I'm confident.
Alright, he's confident. So, what we're going to do next, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
A shark.
Shark. Oh.
You can picture it however you want. However you want to depict this in your picture. I'll leave that creative.
Alright, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really hurt my arms. My
I'm
arms are
just
really
going to
aching.
long this out. Right, we'll do 2 more. Right, now we're going to go, we'll move up the page a little bit and we're going to do a hammock.
A hammock. Okay. I have to draw some trees to hang the hammock from.
Great, love it. Maybe you guys should do the same. Trees with a hammock.
Okay.
And then the final thing.
Let's do a few more. Let's do a few more.
Alright,
yeah.
okay.
We've done more than just a hammock on a beach and a
Alright.
surfboard, right? Come on, let's do like 3 more.
Alright,
I'm
what
so
about
confident.
a beach ball?
Beach ball. Done.
I thought you were going to like shade it in.
There you go, done it.
Now, what about someone in the hammock with some sunglasses?
Oh, I've already done the person in the hammock, so I've just got to put glasses on him.
I want to see what yours.
Yeah, done it.
Alright, I'm worried. Final thing?
Yep.
Final thing?
Yep.
A goat.
A
Screaming.
goat. Screaming goat.
Screaming goat.
In the sky, can it be flying?
Yes. Creative perspective. What do you call that? Creative license, that's it. Maybe you should name him. Put a name tag on him. I don't know, it's a bit small now. So we've had the sun,
Yeah.
the sea,
Yeah.
surfboarder with a surfboard, a surfboard with a surfboarder,
Yep.
a surfer, that's
Yep.
the word. Shark,
Yep.
beach ball, a hammock with a person in it, wearing sunglasses, a goat. That's it.
That's it.
Right, on the count of 3, guys, let's send them to the number that's going to come up on the screen again.
Hopefully we'll get some. If we don't get any, it's going to be really embarrassing. But
Just
hey
means
ho.
no one wins chocolate.
Means
Means we
no
get to buy
one-
chocolate.
Yes, come on.
Yes, come on, do something. So send them into the number, but Joel, let's see your masterpiece.
Can I see it first or do you want to show it to them?
No, I want you
first?
to show it to them first.
I see it. Oh, okay.
You might need to bring it back to them. Well, our tech team find that amusing.
Can I have a look at it now?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that is not terrible.
So,
So there's my son, there's my sea.
Where's
my
the shark?
My shark! That's my shark
your
there.
surfer
My
looks
shark
sick.
look amazing. That's my shark there. It was meant to have that.
It looks like he's cooking something in a frying pan as well. On
This is the beach ball.
Okay, I'll
And
roll
then
that.
here's my trees with my hammock and my guy. That stick man is immaculate.
Yeah, but the stick man's up. I'm pretty sure you lay in a hammock. But we'll roll
Sorry, that stick man is immaculate. That is a perfect stick man. He might not be in the right place, but it is a perfect stick man.
Stick man.
And then there's my goat here.
Yeah.
See it there? And then she's green.
Alright, I'll give it to you.
That's pretty good.
I want to see if anyone sends them in.
Yeah, who
I've got
knows?
my phone right here.
Oh, we all.
Joel's got his phone. I don't know whose number we put up.
No, I don't know either.
Let's see. Send them in, send them in, send them in.
Well, I've got loads of WhatsApps. No one's sending any in. But what we'll do is we'll make sure that we give enough people enough time to send it in.
Yeah. Let's go.
So if over the course of the morning, the first person or the best person to send it. Like, look at that, guys. That is just unbelievable.
The number's in the chat as well. Emmaus Rd posted the numbers. If you need to see it,
Look at that. There's 2 things about this. I need to get back on camera. There's 2 things about this that I'm think are amazing. The surfer and that stick man is probably the best stick man I've ever drawn, and I couldn't even see it. Like, I'm so impressed with myself. I'm having the best morning now. You guys want another look?
Glad that's all it takes. That's like great if you I can draw a stick man on my head.
Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. Absolute perfection.
Amazing, perfection, all of these words.
You can post it in the chat as well. I guess they could post it in the WhatsApp
Why
chat
not?
too.
Do it. Why not? We want to see them. We want to see how they go. I feel like we've had a lot of fun already.
We have.
You're bringing our 4th for today, aren't you? And I'm really excited for it.
It's going to be so good.
It looks really cool.
It's going to be so
So-
good. Oh yeah, I need to get this up.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that works.
Yeah, it did work. I
It
fixed
did
it.
work.
Yeah.
Joel was scared that his talk was on his phone. His iPad wasn't going to work. Lol. But it works, which is great.
It's
So,
good.
can I pray for you?
Please
And
do.
I'll leave you to
Let's do it.
share. Yeah, Lord, we just thank you so much that we can come together over YouTube and just have bants and hang out. But also to grow closer to you, to learn together, and to pray together. And even though we're miles apart, actually, we can all join in and agree and learn and encourage one another through this talk, Lord.
Yeah.
So we pray for Joel, bless his words, and that he enjoys this and he doesn't feel pressure or stress whatsoever.
Amen. Awesome. Guys, I can confirm that the number in the chat wasn't my number, so it'll be probably Hope's number. So you're sending it to Hope, but do send something in because there's chocolate to be won. If not, I'm going to win chocolate. Winning. Awesome, guys. We've sort of come to the end of what we were talking about last term, and we're moving into like another term. So this week is like the first Sunday of half term. So you guys will be on your half term holidays probably. You'll be having some time off school, which I don't know, you could be really glad about, or you could not be really glad about. I don't know, but it's half term. And so, you know how if you ever go to the theatre, you get halfway through the show and there's like an intermission. Or you go to a football game or any type of like rugby game or NBA basketball or I don't know, whatever it is you watch, and there's half time. Or maybe you watched Hamilton on Disney Plus, and that is so long that they've actually got the intermission even on the digital copy, not even in the theatre. Or maybe you're a big fan of the extended editions of Lord of the Rings. They are so long that sometimes they have to put on 2 discs, and there's like a halfway point. And so I sort of felt like this was like a halfway point between this term, isn't it? Half term, halfway. So I thought that what happens, I love watching American sport, right? I love basketball and I love watching American football. And what they do at halftime is they often have like a musical performance. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be performing musically today. I've already sung Frozen for you guys, so we're not going to do that, but I call this kind of like the musical interlude, because did you know that the Bible has a bit of a musical interlude? Now, you guys will definitely know of the book of Psalms. Now, the book of Psalms is basically a bunch of songs and poems and sort of bits of music that were written mostly by King David, and they were basically his songs and prayers to God. And he was a really skilled musician. And the Bible actually said he played skillfully to the Lord, so he was really good. And there were all these songs, and they documented it, and they put it in Psalms, and Psalms is the longest book of the Bible. So even the Bible sort of has a bit of a musical intermission. So I thought, this term, I'm going to speak on today probably one of the most famous Psalms in the Bible. But before we get there, I want to tell you guys a story. What's the scariest place you've ever been? What's the scariest situation you've ever found yourself in? Maybe it's a really scary roller coaster. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't find roller coasters scary. I find them really thrilling. But for some people, roller coasters are not the one. Maybe it's somewhere really high. Maybe when you were really young, you got lost in a supermarket. There was nothing scarier than when you were like 5, being lost in a supermarket. That happened to me a few times, and then it comes over the tunnel. Attention, attention, this is a customer announcement. John Hughes, please report to the customer service desk. Like, when that announcement was like, oh, thank the Lord, my mum is waiting for me at the customer service desk, and you get there and she's not there. It's even scarier, oh my word. Maybe, that's you, I don't know. Maybe you really don't like flying, and being on a plane is really scary. Or maybe, I don't know, you've been walking home at night, and you walk down like a dark alley, and you get really scared. I don't know. But what's the scariest place you've been? Have a think. Now, for me, more recently, I'm going to describe to you one of the scariest places that I've been. Now, I went on holiday to South Africa. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I went on holiday to South Africa last year, and I went on what's called a safari bushwalk. Okay, I think there's a picture of me on this safari bushwalk coming up now, and I'm going to describe to you why this situation was pretty scary. Because we had to report to our station where we're going to meet our guides, and there's a picture of those guides up there now, where we're going to meet them. We had to get there at 4 a.m. because when you go on safari, the best time to go and see anything is very early on in the morning. So we had to get up at 4 a.m. So we were in the middle of the jungle in South Africa, and we had to go to this petrol station at 4 o'clock in the morning. And we got there, and nobody else was there. Nobody else was there. So we were in a foreign country. We didn't have loads of money with us. We didn't even have our car. We were dropped off at the hotel near it and walked there in the morning. And then we had to meet our 2 guides, and there were noises galore. Because when it's that early in the morning, animals just love to make noise. And so we were told to meet our guides there, and it was really scary for 20 minutes. And then our guides rocked up, and they were some pretty solid guys. They were great. But they took us deep into the what's called, they call it the bush. Deep into the bush. And when you're on safari, you do a lot of driving around in these big sort of 4x4s, and like you're really high, so you can go and see the rhinos, and you can go and see the giraffes, and you can go and see people. And they put you in this really big truck. And the one rule they give you is do not, I tell you, do not get out of the truck. If your phone falls out of the truck, it's gone. If your food falls out of the truck, it's gone. If your friend falls out of the truck, they're gone. No, I'm joking, it's not like that. They would open it to let someone back in. But you do not get out the truck, okay? For obvious reasons. There's a lot of wild animals, a lot of them are dangerous. And, you know, we don't want anything bad to happen. But we were driving down the road, and then after like half an hour, the guy turned off the road and just started trekking through like jungle. Like there was no road here. Like it was just, like I don't even know how he knew when to turn right. He just did all of a sudden. But now we're going right, and we're driving deep into the bush, all right? And then, after another 20 minutes, we're in the middle of nowhere. The sun has just started to come up. He says those words, right, you can get out of the truck. Bear in mind, up to this point, everything we've heard was do not get out of the truck. He said we could get out of the truck. So we open the doors and we get out of the truck. And it's kind of like you're stepping on like ground that has never been stepped on before, because no one gets out of the truck. No one really ever walks there because it doesn't belong to people, it belongs to the animal. He's like, you can get out of the truck. And so the picture you saw was our guide, and they were taking us on our first steps in the bush, right? And so they had these two massive rifles. One of them I'm pretty sure was a tranquilizer, but one of them wasn't. One of them was if, you know, we got caught by, cornered by an animal that wanted to do us harm, they would do what they had to do in order to get us out safely. But they basically have so many protocols that like it's the last resort that they want to use those. And I think like he said to me, he's like, I think he's used it once in like 23 years, which is like a really good it's a really good record. But he starts to give us the do's and the don'ts of this bushwalk. He's like, 1, don't talk. Like, okay, it feels like I'm back in school, but slightly more dangerous. 2, we have to walk single file. Definitely feel like I'm back at school right now. If you need someone's attention, all you had to do was this. It's all you were allowed to do. Couldn't say anything, couldn't breathe, you just had to click. You wanted someone's attention, so if you had to like tie your shoe, you click and everyone would turn around and tie your shoe. Like it was like all we were allowed to do. And then lastly, it was do not fall behind. So like if you're last, don't like stop to tie your shoelace, because then you fall behind and then the lions will get you. That's basically what you were saying. Don't fall behind. So there were 2 of us on this bushwalk. There was 2 guys, and there was me and Tandia, my wife. And so we thought, yeah, okay, let's go. And so they walk first and second. So we then walk at the back. And so I was like, well, obviously here, obviously the right thing to do would be that I would walk at the back, because then I would be the one at the most danger. That would have been the gentlemanly thing to do. But in my fear, I made Tandia walk at the back, so I didn't have to, because I was so scared. Because I'd never walked here before, and so she walked at the back because she's much braver than I am. And then we got sent in search of wild animals. Basically, we got sent to search for things that we couldn't see from a safari truck. We wouldn't be able to see from the roads. We had to be able to get out of the truck and walk in this really dangerous place in order to see the amazing things we could. And we walked for about 3 hours, and we got to basically within 5 meters of some rhinos, which was unbelievable. Like, I don't think I've ever been that close to anything quite that exotic before, but it was an unbelievable experience. And definitely worth it. If you go to South Africa, go on a safari and definitely go on a bushwalk to keep you safe. It was pretty scary, but obviously no lions attacked us because we got back okay. But I want to look at Psalm 23 this morning. This is a really famous psalm. And here we have David, King David, writing a song about a time where he was in a pretty dark, scary place in our life. So we're going to read Psalm 23, verse 1 to 6 together. It says these words. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures, and he leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul, and he guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all of the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Awesome. So when David writes this psalm, you can tell that he's going through a bit of a rough patch. As it says in the Psalm, he makes me lie down even though I walk through the darkest valley. Now, I don't know what it was exactly. I'm sure we can find somewhere in the Psalms where it tells us what he was going through. And I can't remember this morning, but I can imagine if it's going to be described as the darkest valley, or as some translations say, the valley of death, it must have been pretty bad. He must have been going through something pretty traumatic, pretty dangerous, pretty scary, pretty life-sapping, pretty, why has this happened? Why is this happening to him? I imagine that's the sort of question he was answering. What am I doing here? How has this happened to me? And I don't know about you, but I often find myself going through periods of life where I feel exactly the same. Where I feel like I'm going through like a really dark valley. Where I feel like I am just asking the question, why has this happened to me? Why does it happen like this to me? But there's something we can learn about David's attitude towards God in this situation. Now, I have a friend, and she isn't a Christian, but she did grow up as a Christian. And nowadays, whenever Tanya and myself manage to talk to her about God, she just can't seem to get over the fact that because there are bad things that happen in her life, that apparently God must not exist. And I imagine that's a really hard thing to comprehend. When things get difficult, it further pushes her away from God. She does this thing where she'd raise her little metaphorical fist and be like, God, why has this happened to me? If this is happening to me, these bad things are happening, surely you can't be there. Surely you don't love us, because if you did, this wouldn't happen to me. And they're great questions to ask. But what happens in those moments is that with my friend, she pushes God away in those situations. But what does David do? He does something really particular. Because sometimes it's really easy for that to be our reaction. When bad things happen, it's easy to be a Christian when good things are happening. But when bad things are happening, it can be a lot harder. And so how many of you have asked yourself the questions like, God, how come you've let this happen to me? Or raised your fist at God and said, God, how dare you do that? That's surely if you love me, this wouldn't happen. Yeah, we can ask ourselves that question, but what does David do? See, David does something really specific. And it actually says that sometimes God allows David, he allowed David to go through this really hard time. It says, God says, he guides me along the right path, and even though I walk through the darkest valley. So sometimes God leads us through some really tough times. In order that we might grow, in order that we might become better people, and in order that we might get our relationship with him might grow. Sometimes he leads us through the darkest valleys. He knows that we can handle it. He knows that we've got everything within our power to be able to get through it, particularly when we walk with him. He says he guides me along the right path. So sometimes God can allow us to go through that darkest valley, but why? Well, the answer is in a single word change. Notice how David goes from using the word he in verse 1, 2 and 3. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. And here's what happens, because then he goes from using the word he to talking about God. And he moves from about God to talking to God. Look in verse 34. Look in verse 4. It says, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me, and you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemy. David goes from using a really impersonal term about God, this really distant sort of saying, he over there, that guy, God over there, he does this. And he goes, as he's going through his darkest valley, he switches from it being impersonal to being a really personal thing. He's talking to God. He goes from talking about God to talking to God. And by doing this, David is showing us that when we go through the deepest, darkest valleys, God wants to lead us through those times with us. And sometimes we push God away. Sometimes when we're going through our really bad, stressful times, we push God away. But actually God is saying it's through those times that he wants to draw close to us. He wants to know us deeper. He wants our relationship with him to grow so that he can lead us through the things that we find really difficult. And it was through this time in the valley that David's intimacy with God grows. And it's through the times when we find things really difficult, when we're stressed out, when we're anxious, when we're worried about life. It's through those times that God wants our intimacy with him to grow as well. Because God never left David, and God never leaves you. Just because things get a little bit difficult, he doesn't leave you. And we find ourselves in that situation. What do we do? Do we shake our fist at God and say, how come you've let this happen to me, and push him away? Or do we actually say, God, I know you're here with me in this situation. I know it's tough now, but you've given me everything I need to get through it, and I want you to lead me through. When a shepherd leads his sheep through the valley where there are predators and the weather can get bad and it's dangerous, I'm sure the sheep don't like it. But why do they do it? The shepherd leads them because it says in this verse that there are greener pastures on the other side. He leads them beside still waters. He wants to lead them to a place of comfort. And that's where God might be leading you today. Just when I was in South Africa, I had to get out of the truck. I had to walk through a really dangerous situation. I had to walk on dangerous ground to be able to get somewhere where I could have a better view of viewing certain animals than we could have done if we just stayed in the truck where it was safe. We had to walk through a really rough patch, to walk through dangerous ground in order to see the amazing things that we saw. And so this morning, you may be going through a deep, dark valley. I don't know what that is. For you, that's going to be different for everybody. And it could feel like a bit of a rough patch. It could be stressful, it could be anxiety-inducing. But today, God wants you to know that He is with you. And He wants to lead you through your deepest, darkest valley. And He wants to draw close to you this morning if only we let Him. So in a minute we're gonna worship. We're gonna play a worship video in a second, and I want you to ask yourself these questions. And I think there's someone in the chat this morning who's like doing it on behalf of Emmaus Rd Youth. And so if you want to put these in the chat, that'd be awesome. But when we go through these really rough patches, when we go through these deep, dark valleys that God's leading us through, He wants us to grow. He wants our intimacy with God to grow. God wants us to grow, and we can do that. And so I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions this morning. What am I learning about myself in this time? The second question is this: where do I go to when things get too much? Where do I go to for relief? Do I talk to a friend? Do I talk to a parent? Do I talk to a teacher? Do I talk to God? Or do I keep it bottled up inside? The third question is, what is God trying to teach me during this time? God may simply just be wanting for you to grow closer to Him, but He may be trying to teach you something really specific. And the fourth thing I want you to ask yourself is, who can I talk to about this? Prayer and talking to God is by far the best thing we can do, but also we're not here to do things alone. Like, we have amazing friends, we have amazing collective leaders, our parents want the best things for us, and so who can I actually talk to, physically talk to, my friends and stuff like that, on top of talking to God? And so, what am I learning about myself? Where do I go to for relief? What is God trying to teach me during this time? And who can I talk to about this? Ask yourself those questions. And this morning you might be going through a pretty rough patch right now, and it might be really relevant for you. Or actually, you may think, do you know what, I'm okay right now. I'm actually doing great. And so ask yourself these questions. Try and remember back to the last time you found something really stressful or really worrying, or something you felt like was the deepest, darkest valley. Remember back to what you did during that time. How did you learn? How did you grow? And maybe this morning, maybe you're like standing over here and you're like, do you know what? This is the first time I've heard that God wants to be with us when things are struggling, when we're struggling. This is the first time that I've ever been told that God never leaves us. And the thing is, God never leaves us, and He wants to be our friend. And so this morning, if you'd like God to draw close to you this morning, you're like, do you know what? I want more of what I'm talking about this morning. I want to know God better. Then I just want you to ask God to come into your life right now. I want you to ask His Holy Spirit to come and just fill you right now, so that we can all begin to grow and strengthen our relationship with God. And so the questions should be in the chat. We're going to worship. Why don't you just think about those questions as we sing this song? You may want to sing it aloud, you may not. Let's just listen to the words, think about these questions, and we'll come back in a minute.
You give light to the darkness, you give love.
about it.
So good.
I love the fact that there were like people putting like who they could talk to in the chat. That was really, really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, but a lot of that like would have been done in your own heart. Like, where is God teaching? I really want to encourage you. One thing that I was talking actually, because I go to a collective as well. I have a youth collective which I lead, which is great. You guys are awesome. But then I go to a collective as well with like a bunch of guys, and not just guys.
I was gonna say, it's definitely
People from the service. And when we were talking about journaling this week, we were talking about how like great journaling is, and sometimes like writing down some of the answers to these questions and sort of getting all the things you reflect on in your head and in your heart, putting it on paper, is like a really great thing to do. So you could give that a go. And maybe this morning you'd love to chat with one of us. Maybe you prayed that prayer this morning, which I told you to pray with. Like you wanted the Holy Spirit to come and fill you, or you wanted like Jesus to come and lead you through some of the really dark times in your life that you go through. And maybe you're feeling okay, but you want that for the future, or maybe you want that right now. We really want to hear from you. And so we're going to put a number up on the screen right now. And we'd love you to drop us a WhatsApp or drop us a text to that number. Just be like, hey, I was praying this morning, and here's what I prayed about. Can you like chat with me about it? And we'd love to chat with you about it. To just, let's just see how we can help everyone. We constantly want to like be growing our relationship with God, be growing our relationship with Jesus, and we want to help you guys do that. Yeah. So let's help you with that. Drop us a text to that number. But Hope, why don't you pray for us to finish up this section?
Let's do it. Yeah, God, we just thank you so much for what Joel just shared with us. We just thank you that actually we probably sometimes don't know who we can turn to in the moment when stuff gets stressful, or we just don't know if we're doing a good enough job at life, or whatever it may be. We can actually turn to you too. We have our parents, we have our friends, but actually the most important person in our lives and who is with us 24/7 and that is listening all the time is you, Jesus. So I just pray as we go into this next week that you would make us more aware of your presence. You make us more aware that you are with us wherever we are, whenever it may be. That whatever we need, as little or as big as it may seem, actually we can ask you, we can call on you. And we just pray that you'll make us more aware this week. Amen. That's what I want. Like, first, like when something goes wrong, the first thing you can do is just be like, or even today, we had a bit of trouble with live streaming, and I was just doing, I was going mental, I didn't know what to do. And actually, sometimes in the moment of like panic, the last person we think to turn to is God. He becomes like a last resort rather than the first, which is mad. So silly. But actually, that's what I want to see.
Awesome.
Let's do it. I thought, since you've been talking, we've had a couple people send in their pictures. We do. We have 3. So Josh sent us in some for his sister and her friend who've been docking into the live stream. So I'm just going to show them on my phone. Here's one of them. There we are. We're loving it. I think like the surfer looks like he's in a bit of a boat. It's great. Yeah. That's the hammock.
Yeah.
That's such a good hammock. I love that.
Sun's pretty good.
That shark is the best shark I think we've had yet. It's pretty darn good. And then we've got one more as well from someone in your collective, which it feels like they've had a lot of practice since you do it.
Yeah, but don't knock the people that have had practice.
Alright, whatever. But this is Beatrice.
Come on, B.
That's really cool. Loving it. More? Closer.
It's rotated, I think.
Oh, it's rotated.
It's done it again.
Oh, whatever.
Well done, B. Yeah.
Woo! So that is so cool. I mean, I think we should send out some chocolates to those guys.
Yeah, well, if you're one of those 3 people, we've got your number. We're going to get in touch, and we're going to send you. We'll send you that stuff.
We'll be like, what's your favourite chocolate?
My favourite chocolate is anything that is white chocolate. I love white chocolate. It's so good. Dream Bar. They don't really make those anymore. Do you know what? No. Dairy milk, white dairy milk. The other day. Oh yeah, anything white chocolate.
None of that, please.
New one. It melted. I left it in your car. It melted.
Yeah, I know. It was grim. It was actually grim.
It was good.
But that was fun. Talking about grimness, we're going to move on to a challenge later. It's not as bad as last week.
No, it's not as bad as last week.
Last week was bad.
It could be grim. It could be disgusting. Or it could be really tasty.
Last week at the challenge, I had to cut some of my fringe because I had so much flour and water in it that it was just like I was putting oil in it, I was trying to brush it out, and it got to the point where the comb was stuck in my hair, so I just cut it off. But luckily it was pretty big.
I didn't have that same problem. However, I did get a haircut this week.
I know, you didn't even touch the flour.
I didn't even get to the flour. Anyway, we've got loads coming up.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so next week, guys, we're going to be cutting Hope's hair into a mullet. So make sure you're here.
We're not doing it. We're not doing that.
No, seriously, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up, isn't there?
It is. And talking of fun stuff, here are some notices for this week. So what have we got coming up?
Alright, so guys, it is half term this week. So usually we'll be like, there's collectives, join a collective. And if you're not in a collective, we definitely want you to join a collective.
Yeah.
Join one of those things, they're great. I run the year 6 and 7, so if you're in those year groups coming out of me, Hope, you run the year
8 and 9.
So come and hang out with Hope. Sam, you run the year 10 and 11. Come on screen, come and hang out with Sam. This is
Sam, the top of our leaderboard, other than Joel.
yeah, so Sam runs the year, so come and hang out with Sam. And finally, we actually have all the collective. Natty runs our year 12 and 13 one. And so come and hang out with Natty. Also, shout out to all of our collective leaders. Eleanor, Elle, where you at? Year 6 and 7, best collective.
Willpower.
Will is with Hope.
Will's great.
Ella Dib is with Sam.
Ella Dib is with
and
Sam.
Millie
I love that.
with Natty with the older ones. All you guys are great. We love our collectives. We're actually getting those guys together tomorrow. All of our collectives we're getting together. So if you're a praying person, pray for us tomorrow night. But there are no collectives this week because it is half term. So there won't be any. There'll be no collective, which is pretty sad. But if you're not in a collective, join a collective.
Definitely. You would have just seen the email on the screen, and it will also be in the chat. If you want to get involved, just email that, and we'll get in touch straight away. How fun! Next thing is my favourite thing, the Instagram. What was that? That was cool. Yeah, no.
Oh, I've got orange juice. Sorry, carry on.
Okay. Instagram. We have got a feed, Emmaus Rd Youth. It's sick. It's got so much content, midweek stuff like highlights of Sundays, challenges, verses, encouraging words, all of this stuff. We get some of you guys to give us a thought each week. It's just amazing. There's so much content flowing, and we just love it. I think it's so good to dock in throughout the week.
Yeah. At Emmaus Rd Youth. We actually gained 2 followers this morning.
Woo!
Come on, celebrate that.
I lost 2 followers.
Celebrate that. At Emmaus Rd Youth.
It's so good. I absolutely love it. I love it.
All right, next we have something. Do you know what? I'm going to do the really exciting one last. So I want to tell you about the podcast. We say this every week.
Really exciting.
It's really exciting. It's still being downloaded. It's still being streamed.
So good. We've got
there's like 25 episodes of our podcast up. And so if you just joined Emmaus Rd Youth, or you've just become a Christian, or like you're asking us questions about like what it's about, go and listen to series 1. Okay? Series 1 is great. It talks about worship, it talks about prayer, it talks about how we can hear from God.
Fundamental things.
Yeah, it does. It's really, really great. If you're like, do you know what, I've been a Christian for a while, and I just want to like hear some stories from some really great people about who have been a Christian longer than me, or are doing amazing things like in the name of God, in the name of Jesus. Like their lives are sold out for Him. Go and listen to series 2. It's called our interview series. We interviewed a lot of really cool people. And if you're both of those people, go and listen to episode 1 of series 3. It was great.
We've got a new one coming soon.
And the new one is coming soon. Episode 2 of series 3. It's going to really
episode 1 was super fun.
It was great.
Do you want to give us a quick storyline of who it was with? What was
we say it every week. We had Ruti, who is part of Proximity Church Stanford, which is one of the 24/7 network churches, of which Emmaus Road is a part of.
It's so cool. It's like home away from home.
It is like home. Yeah, they're our friends, they're our family, and she won The Voice. And so she's a singer, she's a songwriter, she produces her own music. She's basically a super creative person, and we talked about the fact that we have a creative God, and He has given us gifts to be creative.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's we also just heard a story.
And we did.
Super sick. So cool. Amazing. And
final thing. You just roll.
A really, really fun thing.
Just roll.
Just roll VT. Pause the music. Just watch.
Love.
I'm so excited.
This Saturday.
This
Saturday.
One night only.
One night only. It's going to be so good. Like, loads of you have already signed up, which is really exciting, to come and hang out with us on Saturday, the 31st of October.
Come on.
We're going to have a Netflix party. We're going to be on Instagram Live as well, which is Google style. We're going to set some challenges on Instagram. We're going to be hanging out with a few of you guys on Instagram.
Yeah, inviting you into
it's so good. If you want to sign up,
how do you do it?
You can go to emmausroad.com/youth. All right, that is the webpage, emmausroad.com/youth. Go and sign up on the website, or click the link in our Instagram bio.
Yeah, it's in there.
Take you through. You need to sign up, otherwise we won't send you the link. And the earlier you sign up, the better, so we know that we can invite. I just burped because I drank orange juice.
Smells.
And now it smells of McDonald's. Woo. Anyway, go and sign up on the website. Is how you do that, alright? So, emmausrd.com/youth or link in our Instagram bio. There's like 12 people. That was like, I checked the other day, like ages ago. And then I text everybody about it. I text all of like the parents about it. So we might have more. Come and hang out with us.
It's so cool. And we're going to be watching Madagascar.
Such an underrated film. You know, it's so underrated.
I don't know. And I'm just gutted my films didn't get picked.
Yeah,
but moving on from that, I was like, Madagascar. Imagine if Madagascar 1 was real and 2 was filmed during COVID. What would happen? They would just be stuck in the zoo or like walking around New York.
They would be stuck in the zoo.
That would be really boring.
That's a really depressing thing to think about. Like, why just that?
I think it could be a really good spin-off. I don't know. I just following them around Times Square.
They've all just got masks on. Also, we're going to watch Madagascar is such an underrated film. I'm so excited. I'm very gutted that Space Jam didn't win, but Madagascar.
I wanted Mamma Mia. I want we could sing along and just have a look. Sam's loving it.
Right. Let's play a game because we've gone over this morning. It's like 25 to 12.
We have.
Like, let's play a game. Shall I tell us about the game? Do you want to tell us about the game? I feel like it's like 3-3. Although I found out you cheated last week.
Yeah, but
I watched it back and she definitely cheated. So
right, it was impossible to do.
It was definitely. I feel like none of us got a point last week. I'm definitely not giving you a point.
The only way you were gonna win, or like not even win, but complete the challenge was by cheating.
So
but I went full out. I didn't just do one, or I didn't lie about how many I got out. I went full out.
We have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Also, can I just say, Joel, did you actually lose if you didn't even have to put your head
Exactly. I had to cut my fringe. That's commitment.
I feel like that none of us should get a point.
That is basically a mullet.
None of us should get a point.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm getting a point for commitment.
We've got this week's challenge, and this week we've gone for something slightly more low key.
Doesn't that mean I'm 4-3?
No, it's definitely 3-3.
Oh, hang on. No. I was definitely 1 point ahead last week.
No, it's never been 1 point ahead.
Yes, there's a yes.
What?
It is now.
No.
It is now.
I refuse.
4-2.
No, it's 4-2.
Yeah, it's 3-3. You're saying would have brought me up, but no, I was already ahead. It was 3-2 last week.
I was already on 3, so you came to join me.
4-2, guys. Put a H in the chat if you think it's 4-2.
Oh my, how has this descended to this? There's no way you're actually winning these challenges.
Yes, I am.
4-2. I don't think we've even done 6.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Alright, but this week's challenge, we've got some Ferrero Rochers.
Yeah,
and the race is really
Some
simple.
of them are missing.
Yeah, I got a little bit peckish the other day, so I warmed up. I had a practice run. That's a joke. I didn't. I had 2 yesterday, and hope I had 1 today. So we're gonna see how many Ferrero Rochers we can eat in like 90 seconds.
Wrapper and all.
Wrapper and all. Should we do wrapper and all?
No.
Should we unwrap them first? So we're gonna unwrap them first.
No, I think I thought.
No, we're not gonna eat the wrapper. No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Should we unwrap them before?
No, it'll take too long. No.
How about we need a table or something? No, is that gonna be in shot?
Yeah. Maybe not, but it'll work.
Is that in shot?
Right, let's go.
So
Hang on.
we need a
Just spin these
timer.
up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't touch mine.
No, I'm just spin them up, Joel.
There's no way you're getting more than 7. There you go. That's fine.
Okay, is that equal?
Probably not.
1, 2, 3.
Quick maths, come on. 1 plus 1 is 2.
No,
1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 is. Come on, how does it do it? 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1 must be quick maths. Quick maths are wrong.
Yeah, just leave the wrapping
Can you
up to me,
touch
right? They're equal. Oh no, 1 down.
Cheating again.
I'm not cheating.
So we're going to have this challenge. Who can eat the most Ferrero Rochers in 90 seconds? Can someone get a timer for us? Yeah.
Sam's on it.
Alright. You ready?
I'm
Someone give
really
us a go.
hungry.
Is the music going? Yeah. Ready? Someone say go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa!
Halfway.
Did I win?
Yeah.
I got 9. I did 9.
He won, but it's fine. It's still 4-3.
3.
See you next
Definitely
week, guys.
for me.
Bye.
Yeah.